In the sprawling, hidden world of New York City's underworld, five powerful families once held sway over an empire built in the shadows. Among them, one of the oldest and most turbulent was the Bonanno family. Their story is a sprawling epic of power, betrayal, and ambition. It all started with one man, Joseph Bonanno. Born in 1905 in the Sicilian town of Castellammare del Golfo, he arrived in America as a teenager, riding a wave of immigrants searching for a better life. For some, that meant chasing opportunity. For others, it meant seizing power. By the 1930s, the chaotic streets of New York's underworld were being organized. Following years of bloody conflicts, the infamous Charles Lucky Luciano established the Commission, a governing board for the city's crime families. At this table of hardened criminals sat Joseph Bonanno, one of its youngest and most cunning bosses. Under his leadership, the Bonanno family thrived. From their strongholds in Brooklyn, Queens, and parts of the Bronx, they controlled a vast network of illegal enterprises. Gambling rings, loan sharking operations, and infiltrated labor unions all ran with a quiet business-like efficiency. Joe Bonanno cultivated an image not of a violent gangster, but of a respectable, calculating businessman. For decades, he skillfully avoided open warfare and kept his operations out of the headlines. But beneath this calm surface, a dangerous ambition was simmering. By the early 1960s, Joe Bonanno's quiet reign was no longer enough. He wanted more complete control. He hatched a secret plot to assassinate the bosses of rival families and take over the entire commission. But secrets in the mafia rarely stay secret for long. When word of his plan leaked, chaos erupted. What followed was a bloody internal conflict that would be forever known as the Bonanno Wars, tearing the family apart from the inside. Amid the turmoil, Bonanno himself vanished for nearly 2 years. Some claimed he was kidnapped by rivals. Others whispered he had gone into hiding to escape the fallout of his failed coup. When he finally reappeared, the empire he had so carefully built was fractured beyond repair. His power was gone and his legacy tarnished. In the wake of Bonanno's downfall, his successors struggled to restore order. The family was in disarray, and the FBI, sensing weakness, began to circle. Internal betrayals became the new norm. In a humiliating and unprecedented move, the Bonanno family was officially kicked off the commission, a mark of shame that cast them out from the highest echelons of the American mafia. But their greatest humiliation was yet to come. In 1976, the family unwittingly welcomed a new associate into their ranks, a jewel thief who called himself Donnie Brasco. In reality, he was Joseph Pistone, an undercover FBI agent on a mission to infiltrate the heart of the mob. For 6 long years, Pistone lived and breathed the life of a gangster. He earned their trust, learned their secrets, and recorded every move. When the operation finally came to an end, the results were devastating. Over 100 mobsters were arrested and indicted based on the evidence he gathered. The Donnie Brasco case didn't just cripple the Bonannos. It sent a shockwave through the entire underworld. It proved that no one was safe, and the FBI had penetrated organized crime deeper than ever imagined. The Bonanno family's structure collapsed, its reputation shattered by the ultimate betrayal. Through the 1990s, a new leader, Joseph Massino, tried to pick up the pieces. He was a disciplined and cautious boss who managed to rebuild the family's strength, restore order, and even regain their coveted seat on the commission. It seemed like the Bonannos were on the verge of a comeback, but in 2003, the law caught up with Massino. He was arrested and faced a mountain of charges, including murder and racketeering, that guaranteed he would spend the rest of his life in prison. Faced with this grim reality, Massino made a decision that would forever break the mafia's most sacred vow. He became the first ever sitting boss of a New York crime family to become a government informant, cooperating fully with federal authorities. With that single act, the code of silence was finally broken. Today, the Bonanno family is a mere shadow of its former self. Decades of relentless law enforcement pressure, crippling internal betrayals, and the simple passage of time have eroded its once immense power. Their story, which began with a young immigrant's dream of opportunity, became a century-long saga of crime and consequence. It stands as a stark cautionary tale of ambition, loyalty, and the undeniable truth that even the mightiest empires can eventually crumble from within. This was the rise and fall of the Bonanno family, a dynasty, built in darkness and ultimately undone by its own shadows. Thanks for watching. If you found this story fascinating, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into history's most compelling stories.